The whole time I was printing, I was thinking, this is probably gonna be the last job that you ever print on this press. Welcome to the new home of Rogue Lab. This place has been a long time coming, and when I mean long, I mean that I've actually owned this property for over a year and a half now, and that's how long it took to get all the renovations done, all the permits, everything that needed to be done for me to move in here and get things going, and it's finally done. Shit, yes! And it actually feels like it took a lot longer than that, because I started Rogue Lab 3 years ago, and I could have moved the print business into a commercial building like 6 months in, no problem. I don't know what it's like where you're at, but here, commercial leases cost a lot of money, and taking thousands and thousands of dollars and giving it away to a building that I'm never gonna own and having to follow someone else's rules was something that I was just never gonna get on board with. If I'm gonna be paying that kind of money, I wanna pay it into something that I'm gonna own, an investment, because that's just smart business. So I looked around for a very long time for a commercial property that I could buy. Nothing really came up, and then I figured, you know what? Why don't I stick with the home print shop thing? I've been doing it for a long time now. I know I love having a home print shop because there's never a wall in the way of the workflow or the creativity. If something cool comes up that I want to do or something needs to really get done, I can just do it anytime I want to. I don't have to pack up my shit, go somewhere else. All that, I can do it right here at my fingertips. And then there's that other thing that every single printer on earth has encountered, where they're laying in bed at night wondering, did I turn the flash off? We all know that is not a good feeling. So having a home print shop means I can just go look and feel better anytime I want to. So yeah, my plan was to pack up all my shit, move into a new house, find a house that had a large amount of acreage and room to build a shop or an existing shop on it. And the process after making that decision probably took about 6 months. I actually found another place that I really liked and was bidding on it, got into a whole thing, and actually lost out on that house. And then super bummed. I thought that was gonna be the end of it for a while, and then this place came up that was 10 times better, so I'm so glad I lost out on that first one, because this place is everything I could ever want. So with that being said, let's go check it out. Also, thank you to Small Rig for sending over the housewarming present. And I gotta say, camera gear is the best housewarming present of all time. And if you didn't know, I started a second channel. It's gonna be all about camera gear and editing tricks and all that fun stuff. It's linked down in the description below, so make sure you go subscribe to it. This stuff will probably make an appearance on there. Oh, that is nice. I'm not waiting, I'm using this. Thank you, Small Rig. Starting from the road in this badass dual driveway setup, we've got 5 acres here, which is so awesome because where I came from, everybody was packed in so closely together that my neighbors literally could hear me fart. It happened a lot. And this place is so peaceful, it is amazing. At my other house, all I used to hear were buses and police sirens and fire trucks nonstop. It was so irritating. Here, all I hear is animals and the wind. That's pretty much it. This right here is the reason that this project took as long as it did, because getting contractors and supplies and all that this day and age obviously is a massive pain in the dick. It's 1,600 square feet, and this house was about as 1980s as you could ever get. We're talking pink carpets, we're talking wood grain. It was just awful inside there, and the exterior was pretty ugly too, so all of that got ripped down to the studs and redone. This concrete pad / walkway that just got put in a few days ago. Just finished building that front step entrance thing last night, and the most obvious thing is the house is now painted solid black. We got black shingles, we got black everything on this house. I've wanted a black house for as long as I can remember. I've always wanted to have something that looked like I live with the Addams family, and I finally have it. But yeah, it's looking sweet. I'm not ready to show you guys the inside yet because I'm still moving in, unpacking. I'm sure you know what that's like. It's a shitstorm inside there, but I can tell you that the interior of that house is everything I wanted it to be. It's just modern and clean and beautiful. Oh, I love it in there. Oh, and the garage. The garage is much bigger than my old one, so that's also awesome. More room for fun things. Out back, there's not a lot going on, just put in this gravel parking pad thing. There used to be a really big deck off the back of this house, but it was all really old and rotting and just kind of shitty. So that got ripped off the house. We're gonna rebuild a new one, but it's almost winter time here now. It's
probably going to start snowing in the next couple weeks, so that's got to wait until springtime. Definitely can't wait to get that thing started though. We'll get a barbecue on that thing, maybe a hot tub or something, and it overlooks this vast backyard that I love so much. It's so nice to look back here and not see a bunch of bullshit going on. The only thing I ever see back here are deer. There's tons of deer that show up here almost every day. Hey, deer. Whereas in my old backyard, the only thing that showed up there was usually crackheads digging through my garbage cans. So it's a really nice change. Here we have the BBF, the big black fence. This got put in just to kind of shield what's going on in the shop from the road. Even though nobody really sees it, it just makes everything look nice and clean, and I don't know, it's just pleasant to look at. And it's also here because there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on in this general area starting in the springtime. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. There's actually two really huge things that are going to be happening here in the springtime. Big upgrades, we'll say. So I'm going to hold on to those until it's time. They're going to be super dope though. And speaking of upgrades, there is one future upgrade that I will tell you about right now. This property was owned by a commercial business before me. It was owned by a landscaping company. So we have this pit in the back. There is tons of sand, dirt, all kinds of stuff. There's probably, I don't know, like this is probably like 2 acres worth of land. This is all gonna get turned into one savage pit bike track. I am so pumped for that, you have no idea. There is a mountain of material back there and a bunch more over here. We got tons of sand, so I'm clearly gonna build a sand section in it just to take people out for fun. And what's really cool about this is that the wooded areas, there's almost zero brush in there. It's all just trees. So that's gonna make it incredibly easy to make some really cool, tight technical lines through there, maybe some jumps through there, something that's gonna add a little bit of a danger factor. Well, that and of course the gigantic jumps that I'm gonna build in here because I did put a 143 in my bike after all, and I wanna see what it can do. Oh, and there's also some coyotes that live in here too because of all the other animals and stuff. So there's a good chance you're gonna see me get into some shit with those things. But now the part that you've all been waiting to see, the shop. We've got this absolutely ginormous gravel parking area. This is all brand new. This got put in over the last week and a half or so. There's been tons of equipment here, graders, packers, all that shit, laying this down. It is here for a reason though. Like I said, there's some pretty big shit happening in the springtime. Can't wait for that. The building is 1,400 square feet and it existed when I bought this place. It was used by the landscaping people to store their shit, you know, machines and equipment and all that, but they really didn't take care of it and it needed a lot of work. And this thing used to be an absolute eyesore. It used to be this ugly cream and shit brown color, and it was just the worst. But thankfully, my homie Chris from Renegade Paint Co., if you remember a while back, we did a video wrapping his truck. He came down here and sprayed this thing black, and it turned out so good. Somebody described it to me as slutty looking, and for some reason, I love that description. We had to drill water and electrical to this thing because it had no water, and the electrical was minimal at best. So now we've got a massive service on this thing, and we also added full HVAC to it with a pretty meaty air conditioner so that hopefully I'm not sweating my balls off printing all day. It's got dual overhead doors, one on this side, one on the other, only this one doesn't work right now. That's got to get fixed, but that's a springtime issue. And then over here, we cleared out a path to drop a sea can for general storage, just to keep everything a little tidier and make the best use of the space as possible. It's obviously not here yet. It'll be here in a couple days. Well, we've got a hell of a lot more room in here than the old one, huh? In here for now, I kind of went function over beauty temporarily because, you know, budgets and stuff. So this is going to be its temporary state for probably the next 8 months or so. The drywall in here definitely needs to get ripped out and redone from the ground up because I don't know if we can tell on camera what it looks like, but it ain't pretty. The previous owners, I'm pretty sure, drywalled this thing using scraps by the look of it. And they also left it raw, so no paint, no primer for who knows how long, probably a decade or more. So it got all warped and gross and yellow, so that's all gonna have to get redone at some point, but that's gonna get redone when I can afford it. So for now, we got some matte black paint up on the walls just to kind of give it a nice look for my clients and for you guys. We did do this nice fresh white epoxy floor though, which is gonna be so nice. One problem I used to run into in the old shop was me wearing a hat on video. The direct overhead lighting used to make the bill of my hat cast a shadow over the top half of my face, and that's why in a lot of videos for a long time you used to see me wear my hat backwards just because, you know, you couldn't really see me. So when it came time to do this place, I was like, dude, I need a high gloss white floor in here so that the light will bounce off of that back up to my face or anyone else's face that's wearing a hat in here, and no more shadow. problem averted. Plus, it just looks clean and awesome too, right? Over here is going to be another area that gets upgraded in spring, summer of next year, because this right now is the door that works, and that's the one that doesn't, but that's the one that's facing the road. That's the one, you know, people will want to use. This, however, is on the back of the shop, so it kind of makes no sense the way that it's set up. And also, I don't really need two doors. I want to be able to make more use of this back half of the shop. So at some point, that door is going to come out of there and it's going to get walled off, and then we're going to do a kind of like a loft type of deal in here, because this has got 16-foot ceilings, so I got tons of room to do a loft and have like a little storage area up top. And then, yeah, I'll figure out what's gonna go down here. But for now, I'll make use of the space the best that I can. And now you're probably wondering, where the hell is all your equipment? Well, the coolest thing about this new shop is it's gonna have all new equipment, and I mean all new equipment. Only a handful of stuff from the other shop is gonna make its way over here. Otherwise, everything else that you're used to seeing on camera is getting replaced with brand new shit. And actually, a few pieces of it are here already. I'm sure you saw the censored out crates in the background while I was walking around, because I don't want to show you that just yet. It's gonna be a surprise. All the rest of it is either shipped or being prepared to be shipped as we speak, so it's just a matter of playing the waiting game now. But the coolest thing about this now is that I have a chance to document all of this stuff as it shows up here. So we're going to be able to watch this giant empty cube get built into a screen printing shop over the course of the next little while. So that's going to be pretty rad. So be prepared for an onslaught of videos, because I plan on making more videos over the next couple of months than I've ever made on this channel before. And that concludes the tour of the new place. This is such a huge step for me, a huge step for the content, because I'm going to be able to do so much more cool stuff on the channel that I've never been able to do before. And of course, a huge step for the business, because now I'm out of my basement. We're in a more commercial style space. I'm gonna be able to bring in more people and bigger equipment and step up the output capacity. And I have the room here to grow the business for a very, very long time. If Rogue Lab ever gets to the point where I need to build us a massive 10,000, 15,000 square foot shop, I have the property here to accommodate that with room to spare. So I'm pretty fucking stoked about that. Of course, this all does come with a certain amount of risk, but that's something that doesn't even really cross my mind, because risk is just a part of life. It's a major part of business, and nobody's ever done anything great by playing it safe. Anyways, if you haven't done it already, please slap the shit out of that thumbs up button for me, because this has been one of the most stressful years of my entire life, but it's finally over. I am so happy to be here. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for all of the new videos coming out as we build this place up. And yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new start. We'll see you in the next one. Holy shit. What the fuck was that? I think it's a rabbit. What's up, dear? He's just looking at me like, fuck you, dude. Shut up! Thank you. He just lets out one more little chirp at the end.